Yeah, this is Point Black, coming in hard and off the car, coming with that flow straight from the barrio, and coming with that heat from the damn street. This is PBNN Point Black National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, because this is what we must do in all ways, facing these many adversities and adversaries in all ways, as we see. You know what I mean? As we see a lot of this stuff going on in all ways. So today, we're going to just do some news capping, which is highly important for us to always keep up, because we have a 2024 election coming up that is going to produce these candidates that we've been looking at all these years. Many of these candidates, in more ways than one, is not, you know, in great shape. We keep electing the same set of people, and now, on top of electing the same set of people, we're now probably electing infiltrators, as I would say. You know what I mean? So we have to look at that. And we also have to look at the strategies in which they use to infiltrate our elections. Remember, when you elect these people into your government, you're electing people who call themselves millionaires and all this different shit. You know what I'm saying? By the time they finish, let's rigmarole our government and the people, you know what I'm saying, they done hawk off a cool couple trillions for themselves. But in essence, call themselves running a government that is not producing, to me, anything for the people. You know what I'm saying? So the people have to do it themselves. You know what I'm saying? Entrepreneurship is one of the main things many young people should be looking at. You know what I'm saying? Running nice, clean businesses, fresh businesses. Border Health comes in, check your shit's Border Health up to par and all of this and that. You know what I'm saying? And you start a name and a franchise of your own. You know what I'm saying? You start your own franchise. You can start small and go big. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter whether you selling plates on the internet or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It still goes to show that you must be seeking a better way besides a criminality way, because many are going to get caught up in those wrong moves. Even when we look at today's, you know, New York Post, coming out Rich uh, Caldera and Matthew look like Sadaka. You know what I'm saying? 19 hours ago, Eastern Standard Time. You know what I'm saying? We see the far left members of council wants to make big apple landlords do their work for them. Lazy ass Dean. Democrats probably want to reach all the Latino people inside many of these rental buildings. You know what I'm saying? They want to use the landlords, you know what I'm saying, use the landlords to do the work for them or face five-figure fines. Imagine that. This is how serious they want to reach all the Latino people them who pile up in all these buildings and all these different things, the Bronx and everywhere, and even the ones they call migrants that are now here. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. You know what I mean? But New York bill would require property owners to provide tenants with a contact information for all elected officials representing their respective neighborhood under the bill. You know what I'm saying? Introduced last week by Brooklyn Councilwoman Jennifer. It looked like Gutierrez. You know what I'm saying? Landlords would be required to supply new existing tenants with hard copy notice, you know what I'm saying, listing the names office address and phone contact. You know what I'm saying, which is phone number for all federal, state, and city holds representing their neighborhood. All information. Now, this is a Spanish lady trying to push this bill. You know what I'm saying? From what we see in this situation. So we know there's a lot of migrants in these buildings and different places that can easily slide in, pile in their city, live in that building, and be, you know, doing this. But at the same time, they want to make sure that they're reaching every possible candidate they can. You know what I'm saying? The idea is to keep the Demon Democrats in power while they sabotage, criminalize, and keep the Republicans caught up in a lot of bullshit. You know what I'm saying? The idea is really to empower the tenants to know how they can access information with terrorists told proposed. You know, I think a lot of uh, folks may be or interpreting this as like we are pushing tenants to file complaints against landlords, and that is not the case. This is really about ensuring every tenant his access a resource that they should have. Yeah, right. There's a plot to this somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But we see the progressive Demon Democrats also claim that many of her constituents, you know what I'm saying, in the Williamsburg and other parts of North Brooklyn don't have internet access. You know what I'm saying? Critics rip the measure as yet another anti-landlord tactic by the council far left bloc. You know what I'm saying? Landlords should not be, burdened with the teaching civics or informing tenants about their representative, said Queens Councilwoman Robert Holden. You know what I'm saying? A moderate Demon Democrat, you know what I'm saying? She's a moderate Demon Democrat. You know what I'm saying? It's time to put an end to this excessives. You know what I'm saying? Nancy stated, and stop with the, I guess she called it polyborough dictates form of city council. You know what I'm saying? She called it polyborough dictates form of council, city council. He and other critics also questioned whether the Know Your Rep bill is being promoted to help drum up names, you know what I'm saying, recognitions for incumbents during an election year. You know what I'm saying? We see what a waste of legislation, and that is right, but it's a tricky one. You are out to you are out of touch with families in your district, tweeted the Berry Street Alliance. You know what I'm saying? What we look like, we get, I guess her name is Gutierrez, you know what I'm saying, is using landlords to campaign for incumbents and advertise for free, such as a New King Demon Democrat move, added the North Brooklyn Block Association group, referring to the upstart progressive club she backs by. The legislation doesn't especially list fine, but violators under the city law would face civil penalties of up to $10,000, which is bullshit and garbage. This is not no more than just another Demon Democrat trick to get her ass in office or whatever the hell she's trying to do without having to pay all the money she would have to pay for regular campaign, as we see. You know what I'm saying? As we see. You know? And basically that's what it is. You know, I'm getting very tired of this thing, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? We see former FBI officials issues an ominous warning on Trump supporters' threats. You know what I'm saying? From what we see here, but we see the FBI official issues anonymous warning to Trump supporters' threats. You know what I'm saying? By Anna uh, Commander or whatever on the 8/12/23 at 4:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we see here where they are putting out this warning by the FBI. You know what I'm saying? But we see Frank's, I guess his name is Figaluzzi or whatever, former FBI associate assistant, former FBI assistant director for the counterintelligence, said on Saturday that domestic threats in the United States now looks like international terrorism threats, with people willing to die for the cause who backed the president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. You know what I'm saying? Well, you know for well that was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's a foolish move for them to be trying to assassinate or kill anyone over a political candidate. You know what I'm saying? And risking their life down the line. But at the same time, we have to look at the political candidates as candidates that should be, if you're not doing your job, removed. Not these run up death threats and all this stupid shit and carrying on chaotically. You know what I'm saying? This has to be done diplomatically. You know what I'm saying? And if not, then you know for well that we must stay on it to make sure that the candidates do the right thing. But this is not the way to be going about this where you're making threats of killing a president and all of this and that because you disagree with their cheating tactics. This is not about that. This is about getting to the bottom of all of the Grinch and the Wrench. Once we do that, then all will show itself. No need for the violence, no need for the threats, and no need for terrorism. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Trump has previously faced criticism for making alleged threats following his criminal indictment and is currently facing 78 felony charges in total. Imagine that, 78. It sounds so big and large and untrue and lying and you're full of doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? In total, spread across 3 cases. These cases, which he has pleaded not guilty to, and accused them of being a politically motivated witch hunt, which it is, including, you know what I'm saying, charges relating to claims of castrating the hush money. That's bullshit. I don't even want to hear about that hush money bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Anybody would be charging somebody on some bullshit like this is garbage. And I can't believe the American people would even put up listening to this hush money bullshit of some fucking Stormy Daniels. You know what I'm saying? Even Stormy Daniels. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Why would anybody be worrying about that bullshit on some campaign money when y'all use campaign money your damn self and corrupted the motherfucking government as you go along robbing and stealing and murdering and getting rich and joining secret societies or part of the secret societies, so all your lineage always seems to be in the White House. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have done more garbage on this planet than talking about some damn Stormy Daniels and Donald Trump paying her money on some damn campaign funding. Y'all full of shit. You know what I'm saying? Ahead of the 2016 presidential election, mishandled classified documents. And that classified document charge is full of shit also. You know what I'm saying? And broke the law attempting to reverse the 2020 election outcome. No, he didn't try to reverse the fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? And if he did try to do it, it's because he saw the corruption that was coming, that was based on what you were going to do to the people and the country as a whole in all the wars that you ever chumped up. You know what I'm saying? We could put them all in one bunch. During the former president's arraignment in April on the 34th of the felony business records and in New York, acting New York Supreme Court Judge, Juan, whatever his name, Merchant, China, whatever his name is, warned him against making comments about the case with the potential to incite violence, create civil unrest, and jeopardize the safety of the well-being of any individual. Whether y'all did that already 100 times over, especially to the black community and the black people as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So what the fuck is you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know, and then you cheat our elections and manipulate our government and drive the people into wars and draft them into the Vietnam War, whether they like it or not. You do all kinds of criminal garbage with some criminal piece of shit, and then you instead of talking about some individual jeopardizing safety and so forth. Yeah, it's time to get y'all out of there. You know what I'm saying? And fuck your safety and all of that bullshit you're talking about because you are the one who is using psychology on the people based on telling them that you're doing good here and you're doing good there and this and that and that, but using the good in order to produce the evil. You know what I'm saying? And you're very good at it based on fooling the people minds that you've been fooling for the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years. However, hours later, Trump told supporters to gather at Mar-a-Lago, his Florida estate. You know what I'm saying? That he had a Trump hating judge with with a Trump hating wife and family who daughter works for the vice president, Kamala Harris. How did that? Why am I not surprised? And now receives money from the crypto Biden Harris campaign. Imagine that. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that shit at all. But we see here where Chan's daughter Lauren is presented of authentic Laura is a president, I'm sorry, which is, I guess, his daughter of Mr. Merchan, you know what I'm saying, is the president of Authentic Campaigns and Agencies that has worked with President PBS, wannabe President Kamala Harris, you know, Hala Raz, you know what I'm saying, and other demon Democrats. However, conservative and progressives, you know what I'm saying, lawyers have said this is not considered a conflict of interest for the judge. Yes, it is. You lying son of a gun. You know what I'm saying? While appearing on NSNBC on Saturday, you know what I'm saying? It looked like Figure Lucy or whatever his name is, was asked who he think there will be more. Well, he asked why he thinks there will be more right-wing extremist threats like the one in Utah that happened earlier this week, where I think his name is Craig, uh, Louis Robinson or something, was fatally shot by the FBI agents after previously posting anonymous messages on social media, including one aimed at Creep Joe Biden while, showing support for Trump. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's no reason that they should have went and this guy should have been killed. You know what I'm saying? I thought the FBI is supposed to be a top-rate professional agency, but I'm beginning to see the flaws, and for many years knew the flaws in your game. If you remember back after 9/11, you know what I'm saying, we had this color-coded threat level system that many people thought was confusing and ultimately went away. But if we still have that in place with regards to domestic terrorism, we'd be moving from yellow to orange to likely threats occurring, and all of the makers are there, figure whatever his name, Lucy or whatever said, who also work as a contributor to an NBC. Oh, did I know that? News and has been a frequent critic of the president, you know what I'm saying, Donald J. Trump in the recent years. In addition, Trump, who is running for president again in 2024, has repeatedly come after Special Counsel Jack Denard K. Smith, who was chosen by the Department of the DOJ crazy asses to oversee its probe into him. The President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, called Smith a terrorist, which he is, in an appearance on Mark Levine show in January, and said the prosecutor Smith should resign. He's got a conflict. You know what I'm saying? He is a terrorist. He is a Trump hater. And yes, he is, and maybe not. He just, you know what I'm saying, got to do what they tell him to do, or, you know what I'm saying, he going to get the way. And thank you. His best friend are Wiseman, and all of these characters, Lisa, Monaco, you know what I'm saying, at the Justice Department. You know what I'm saying? At the Justice Department, one of the top officials. This is an disgraceful situation. He should resign. I think he should too, because I see many conflict of interest, many in the case that don't make sense. The case itself that they're presenting don't make sense, and the jumping up around that does not make sense. But we also see that the demon Democrats uses this type of strategy in order to keep themselves in good light and people going for the bullshit. I'm sure by now a lot of people have been past a lot of this conflicted little garbage. But one thing they should be on to, like I said before and I'll say it again, is making sure that they choose the right candidate who is going to prosper the people and make sure that the people is good. Like for instance, you have the minimum wage. Now when we look at the minimum wage, what good is a minimum wage if it does not provide enough economic status based on the rent situation and how high it is? Why, if you raise the rent two, three times, why is the minimum wage still the same? And if you do move the rent two and three times, you only move the minimum wage maybe one time. And then say that you're going to gradually go up on the minimum wage over X amount of years in order to give the landlords and these different stores and so forth on more time to catch up. But at the same time, that does not make any sense at all, because when you don't economically put the people's money to fit and keep up with your bullshitical robbing of the people's rent, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, to keep on allowing them to go up $100, $100, and sometimes even $200, and even more. So by the time you look around, you're paying $5,000 for a squeezy ass two-bedroom apartment. But when you look at the minimum wage and the earnings, even when we look at the earnings of Social Security and many of those benefits, you give a person and most people $900. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about regular people who've been getting these checks, from school or whatever. You give them $900, and then by the time they reach 21, you're ready to cut them off. But at the same time, which I understand pushing them to go work, but at the same time, $900 for the other ones who's still on it, you know what I'm saying, is no money. So you're paying out money to say you're paying something for the damage you did during the Nixon era and the cocaine era probably and so forth, you know what I'm saying, and paying these kids the damage of the drugs in which you facilitated into this country, you know what I'm saying? Don't give me that bullshit, and I don't need to go down that road. You should know by now. And now, you're giving these kids, all these kids, going back many years, who parents was probably on drugs from your bullshit systematically, and now the kids have read the scars of that war. So now you make sure you shutting out checks to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, they can have something, because you in your mind you're saying they ain't gonna make it. But at the same time, you giving them $900, but the rent is $3,000. So what good is the $900 that you're giving? You know what I'm saying? It should be up to $1,500 if the rent is up to $3,000. You know what I'm saying? And let's say and go for retirees and many others. You know what I'm saying? You got to start adjusting this money, because when you look at your elected officials, they're the ones sitting up there with millions of dollars sliding and gliding. You know what I'm saying?